Is it time to reveal your real magic and become seen, known, and valued? Welcome everyone to our my first ever Visionary Voices Poetry Dive live. And today we're talking about finding your own voice. So if you're here with us live, just post in hello in the chat so I can see you. If you're watching the replay, just post in replay so I can see you. And if we haven't met before, hello and nice to meet you. My name is Reenak Aiken and I am a deep dive visibility mindset, visibility soul set mentor, and I help visionary leaders, creatives, coaches, business owners, transformational experts to clear their fear and show up so that you can share your voice, your visionary wisdom with the world and clear anything that's in the way of that. So today we're talking about finding your own voice. And this is not something that you can create a strategy for. You can't create a plan to find your own voice. So what I'm offering today, oh hi Carolyn, hi Monica, let's see who else is there, just pop in hello in the chat. But what I'm offering today is an active, hi Hetty, hey, nice to see you. You're gonna love this. I know you're a poet. So what I'm saying is you can't find your voice through a strategy or a plan. Really what you need is an activation, something that will really help you connect. Hi Caroline, to what's there. And what I've found is that poetry is an amazing way to create that activation. And it was one of the ways that really helped me to find my voice. There's a vibrational medicine that comes with poetry. It carries, like homeopathy, a specific essence. Each poem has its specific essence. And when we immerse ourselves in that medicine, in that essence, it activates something in us. When we're set up to receive it in the right way and when it's transmitted from a place of depth, because there's so much depth in these poems. So this is about, what I'm going to be inviting you into today is a way to, I call this a poetry dive. That's like an immersion. It's like diving into the pool of experience to activate something in you. So we'll be inviting you when I share the poems to really get comfortable, to really receive the energy that's coming through and to be listening, letting the poem and the words wash over you like music, and to be listening to your own voice, to be listening within to yourself. You might want to have a pen and paper to hand. You might want to be able to jot down any insights that come to you as you are going through this and as we're listening to this. So let me tell you before we dive in just a little bit about my journey with poetry, because you may or may not know that I studied transformational poetry. My journey with poetry began in 2008, and I studied transformational poetry from 2011. I did a poetry depth mystery school for 3 years and worked with an amazing teacher for 6 years on transformational poetry. So this is something that I love to do. I love to embody, what I call embody poems and share them. And, I write some poems as well. But really, what I'm offering today, I'm offering poems that really are a shot of truth, that are going to activate your truth speaker. And what happens with a poem that's holding this beautiful vibration that we would love to embody, and the poem is here and we are here, and it activates that part of us and we come closer to that embodied medicine of the poem. It's really powerful. Poetry is one of the things that motivated me to actually want to come out of my shell and speak in front of a group. Before that, I really had no motivation. I did it if I had to professionally, but other than that, I was like, no, not for me. And then I discovered the amazing magic that's poetry, and it lit me up, and I was like, I want to share this with people. And people still tell me that when I'm speaking poetry is when I'm most animated and alive. And that's what I want for you too. I want you to find what lights you up, what brings you alive through the medicine of these poems. And I have done these poetry dives in person before. So on my retreat I did before, and that I'm offering in May or June, we would have a whole hour to lie on the floor, comfy, and just listen to a deep poetry dive and see where that takes you. And the feedback I got from one person when I did this was like, my whole life makes sense now. And suddenly something had happened internally where she had joined all the dots of her whole life. So my intention for today is to give you a transmission that will help activate your own voice. And I'm going to be sharing a few poems from David Whyte and one from Jess Foster. And David Whyte was the first ever transformational poetry speaker that I came across in 2008 that woke me up to the power of transformational poetry. So I invite you to get comfortable, to let these poems wash over you like music. And so really, hi Joe, hi Carolyn and Hetty, and anyone else that's here live. So just get comfortable and, let these poems wash over you like music, and just really listen deeply to yourself. And I'm going to just see what happens. I'm not quite sure how this is going to go. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Start with the first thing, close in, the step you don't want to take. Start with the ground you know, the pale ground beneath your feet, your own way of starting the conversation. Start with your own question. Give up on other people's questions. Don't let them smother something simple. Start right now. Take a small step you can call your own. Let go of other people's heroics. Start close in. Don't mistake that other for your own. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Start with the first thing, close in, the step you don't want to take. Start with the ground you know, the pale ground beneath your feet, your own way of starting the conversation. Start with your own question. Give up on other people's questions. Don't let them smother something simple. To find another's voice, start with your own voice. Wait until that voice becomes a private ear listening to another. Start right now. Take a small step you can call your own. Don't follow someone else's heroics. Start close in. Don't mistake that other for your own. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Start with the first thing, close in, the step you don't want to take. So listen to your knowing about what is the step, the first step for you, the next step for you, the step you don't want to take because it feels vulnerable. What is your own way of starting the conversation? What is it that feels true, that lights you up? What is the ground beneath your feet, the solid ground that you are deeply rooted in, that when you begin a conversation from the ground beneath your feet, that you speak from depth, you speak from passion, you speak from conviction in a way that lights other people up? What is that for you? What are the things that you could talk about for hours, and that when you do, others lean in to listen? Just harvest those moments now. Start with your own question. Give up on other people's questions. What is your question? What is one of the things that you would love to see in the world? What is the question that you're kind of going, why don't people know about this? Why don't people know about this transformation that I want to bring? How can I connect with those that need what it is that my soul wants to offer the world? And if there's a frustration, there's a question that's like, why isn't this already existing? That frustration is the seed of your leadership, because it's yours to bring. It doesn't exist because you haven't created it. This is your voice. Your question is the doorway to your voice. And to find another's voice, follow your own voice. Wait until that voice becomes a private ear listening to another. And this is when you really connect with your own transformation and listen to those that need your help and communicate in ways directly from your own experience, sharing your own story, your own vulnerability. Then they feel that you're inside their heads, that you're speaking their language. Then they're leaning in and they want to listen to you. So to find another's voice, follow your own voice. And when that voice is a private ear listening to another, that's when you have that connection with yourself, with your wisdom, and with the others. Start right now. Take a small step you can call your own. What is popping into your awareness? What's a small step that you can call your own? Be humbled and focused. Don't mistake that other for your own. Don't compare yourself with others. Just really listen and take a small step, humble and focused. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. It doesn't have to be a big strategy. You don't have to know what you're doing. It doesn't have to make sense. Start close in. Take the first step, the first thing, the step you don't want to take. So just take a moment to make any notes that are coming to you there, or just continue to let this wash over you. But listen deeply to yourself, to your body, as I share this next poem. Today, dare to allow yourself to be seen. Dare to tell the truth. Dare to stop pretending. Dare to stay present to the secret fire that burns inside. Dare to be wildly inconsistent. Dare to let another in. Dare to let go of the image. Dare to never be prepared. Dare to give everything for the awakening of love. Dare to fail. Dare to mess everything up. Dare to fall to the ground, humble again, laughing. Dare to dream and let dreams die. Dare to honor the past, but not cling to it. Dare to give an honest yes and an honest no. Dare to be wrong. Dare to be right. Dare to be real. Dare to be here today. So that's a poem called Dare by Jeff Foster. Just notice, what is that awakening in you? What secret fire is awakening in you today? Dare to allow yourself to be seen. Dare to tell the truth. What truth is awakening and wants to be spoken through you? Dare to stop pretending. What are the subtle ways that you've been hiding your light and not coming forward with as much juice and voltage and wisdom as you can? Just listen to that knowing. Dare to stay present to the secret fire that burns inside. This is what true visibility is all about. Listening to the secret fire that burns inside and finding a way to share that, whatever way that is. Whatever conversation, whatever piece of writing, whatever message, to honor that secret fire, this wild voice inside you. Dare to be wildly inconsistent. To follow the cycles. It doesn't have to be perfect. Dare to let another in. Visibility is about inviting people into your world, not disappearing into theirs. Dare to let another in. Dare to invite people into your world. Dare to let go of the image. Dare to never be prepared. Dare to give everything for the awakening of love. Dare to fail. Dare to mess everything up. Dare to fall to the ground, humbled again and laughing. Because there will be failures, there will be mistakes. You can be brilliant and imperfect. And gosh, isn't it so much nicer to connect with people who are real and laughing and humble and not worried about having it all perfect. Dare to dream and let dreams die. Dreams come and go, and we can't fulfill all of them. We can only do what we can do with the time that we're given. Dare to honor the past but not cling to it. Dare to give an honest yes and an honest no. And dare to take the time to find out what your yes is, what your no is. It's not always easy to connect with that. So also dare to give yourself space to discover what your honest yes is and what your honest no is, and let them change and evolve. Dare to be wrong. Dare to be right. Dare to be real. Dare to be here today. I'm so glad that you're here listening. So listen to your own voice. What's awakening in you? See if you want to make some notes with this. What is it that's that secret fire that wants, that's whispering to you to dare in whatever small steps are wanting to come through you? Just make some notes. Really listen to your voice. You know what it's telling you. Just give it space. That wild, slinky voice that speaks with passion, that is urging you on to share your wisdom. So this is the last poem I'm sharing today. It's called Self-Portrait. It's another David Whyte poem, and I will share these poems later with this video. It doesn't interest me if there is one God or many gods. I want to know if you belong or feel abandoned, if you know despair or can see it in others. I want to know if you are prepared to live in the world with its harsh need to change you. If you can look back with firm eyes saying, this is where I stand. I want to know if you are prepared to live in the world with its harsh need to change you. If you can look back with firm eyes saying, this is where I stand. I want to know if you know how to melt into that fierce heat of living, folding towards the center of your longing. I want to know if you know how to melt into that fierce heat of living, falling towards the center of your longing. I want to know if you are willing to live day by day with the consequence of love and the bitter, unwanted passion of your sure defeat. I have heard in that fierce embrace even the gods speak of God. It doesn't interest me if there is one God or many gods. I want to know if you belong or feel abandoned, if you know despair or can feel it in others. I want to know if you are prepared to live in the world with its harsh need to change you and can look back with firm eyes, saying, this is where I stand. I want to know if you know how to melt into that fierce heat of living, falling towards the center of your longing. I want to know if you're willing to live day by day with the consequence of love and the bitter, unwanted passion of your sure defeat. I have heard in that fierce embrace, even the gods speak of God. So just breathing it in, notice what's awakening in you with this fierce stand for who you are, for your fierceness in connecting with who you are, with taking that stand, for your uniqueness, for your precious, wild, unique voice. And in this poem, he talks about the paradox of following our longing, following our dreams, taking a stand for that, and also living with the consequence of love and the bitter, unwanted passion of your sure defeat. These seem like harsh words, but this is about, it's a conversation. That reality is a conversation between what we want from the world and what the world wants from us. And it never pans out exactly as we see it in our dreams, because it's our vision coming into contact with reality. And so we never get things 100% our own way, and everything will pass in time, every success, every failure. And the world never gets things 100% its own way, because we do take that stand. We do say, this is where I stand, this is who I am, and I can't be different. So this fierce embrace of belonging to yourself, this is where the gods speak of God. This is all the world asks from us, and it can take everything to live it. So just taking a moment to resurface from this dive and just seeing what's landing, seeing what's awakening, seeing what's opening up inside you. If you want to write some notes or post in the chat what insights are coming from this poetry dive, what takeaways are you getting, what insights, what voice is arising in you. And thank you, Recurt, hi, Donald O'Leary. Recurt saying, wow, tears in my eyes. Yeah, poetry brings us to tears. And yes, Jeff Foster is such a beautiful writer. So thank you for being with me today. Please share your takeaways in the chat, and I will love to hear what you got from this poetry dive and what your takeaways are. And if you would love to experience a full poetry dive, I will share some information about the retreat that I'm doing at the end of May and beginning of June here in the Netherlands. It's for women. It's called Embodying Your Feminine Superpowers, and I'll be doing some deep dive lives. And if you would love to see me doing this more often, at the moment I'm thinking about doing a poetry live once a month. So let me know how that lands with you, if this is something that serves you, because this is an experiment. I love to share it, and I really want it to be of value to you. So that's everything for today. Post your comments whether you're here live or whether you're watching the replay, and I will respond to all of your comments here in the group. Bye for now.